Everything you've prayed for, imagined, and believed, it's not far away. It's near, nearer than your own breath. What you've been waiting for is already waiting for you in the unseen. The divine orchestration is perfect, and the moment you align your awareness with its completion, you step into the flow of answered prayer. Your breakthrough is not something you chase, it's something you align with. You prepare for it not by effort, but by consciousness. You stay ready by remaining in the feeling of already having received, because the truth is the shift has already begun. The threads of divine timing are being woven behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet perceive. Every delay was divine preparation. Every closed door was protection. Every silence was God moving the pieces in your favor. The unseen hand has never left you. It's been guiding, arranging, and perfecting every detail so that when your breakthrough appears, it arrives with precision, grace, and perfect order. The question is not when it will come, but whether you are ready in consciousness to receive it. You cannot enter the new state while clinging to the old vibration. Release worry. Release fear. Release the idea that things are against you. The truth is, everything is for you. Even the things you once thought were setbacks. When you accept that the universe is conspiring in your favor, peace replaces pressure. You no longer force outcomes, you allow them. You rest in knowing that what's yours can never pass you by. You feel the joy now, the gratitude now, the relief now. And as you do, life begins to mirror that inner assumption. Stay ready in your heart. Stay ready in your thoughts. Expect the good you've imagined to unfold naturally, effortlessly, and perfectly. Don't seek signs, become the sign. Don't wait for proof, be the living proof. God has already moved the mountain. The path is already cleared. The miracle is already in motion. And soon you will look back and realize it all worked in your favor. So stay ready. Stay faithful. Stay inwardly convinced. Because your breakthrough isn't coming someday. It's unfolding now. What you cannot yet see is already unfolding with divine precision. There is a movement taking place in realms unseen, a silent orchestration aligning every person, place, and circumstance to bring your desire into visibility. You may not see the evidence yet, but the invisible shift has already begun. The outer world moves only after the inner change has occurred, and right now, the unseen is rearranging itself to reflect what you have imagined and believed to be true. Every delay you've encountered, every door that seemed to close, every moment of uncertainty has not been punishment, it has been preparation. There is no wasted experience, no random detour, no accidental encounter. Everything has been part of a divine coordination designed to move you into perfect alignment with your breakthrough. What feels like stillness is often the most powerful moment of transformation, for it is in the silence that the unseen begins its most sacred work. When you change your inner state, when you begin to live in the end of your desire, everything in your reality begins to shift to match that vibration. But this change first happens invisibly, just like the roots of a tree expanding underground long before the blossom appears above the surface. You may not yet perceive the growth, but it is happening in ways beyond your physical senses. The invisible hand of God is working through time, space, and circumstance to create the perfect scene for your manifestation. You must learn to trust this invisible phase. The temptation is to doubt when nothing seems to move, but faith thrives in the unseen. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you have planted the seed of your new reality. That seed is now germinating in the dark, protected and nurtured by divine intelligence. The darkness is not the absence of progress. It is the womb of creation. Every time you hold firm to your inner vision despite appearances, you strengthen the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Every moment you persist in faith, you draw your future closer into the now. You are not waiting for your breakthrough, it is already unfolding. You are simply allowing time to reveal what eternity has already decreed. The unseen is not slow, it is deliberate. God's timing is never delayed, it is exact. The moment your inner conviction becomes stable, the outer world must obey that new vibration. What you cannot yet see is already being arranged. People are being guided, opportunities are being prepared, and circumstances are being adjusted. To deliver your manifestation in perfect sequence, so rest in confidence. Let peace replace worry. You don't need to chase the outcome, you need only to maintain the inner knowing that it is done. The invisible shift has already begun, and soon what was once unseen will stand before you as undeniable proof that your faith was never in vain. Faith is not the act of hoping that something will happen someday. It is the inner assurance that it has already happened in the unseen. It is the invisible bridge that connects what you believe within to what you will soon witness without. Faith is the sacred knowing that the unseen is more real than the visible world. It doesn't beg or plead, it stands still in quiet conviction, fully persuaded that the unseen reality will materialize in perfect form. When you hold faith, you are not waiting for evidence, you are living in the evidence. You walk, speak, and think from the end, knowing that the invisible cause has already set the visible effect in motion. Every act of true faith reorganizes the outer world to conform to your inner assumption. The moment you accept your new state of being, all the forces of creation move to support that state, and life begins to mirror your belief. Faith is not passive, it is a creative act of imagination. To have faith is to see with the inner eye what is not yet visible to the outer senses. It means to persist in the unseen vision when nothing in your environment yet confirms it. The mind of faith does not question how or when. It simply rests in the knowing that it is done. That still, confident awareness becomes a magnet that draws everything needed for its fulfillment. The world you experience is a mirror reflecting the content of your inner belief. When you shift your faith from fear to certainty, from doubt to conviction, the mirror must change. Heaven begins to rearrange circumstances, people, and opportunities in divine sequence. This reorganization often happens quietly, behind the scenes, but it is unstoppable once faith is established. Nothing can resist the magnetic power of a consciousness that knows itself to be fulfilled. Faith is the language of creation. It speaks to the unseen and calls it forth into being. When you truly believe that your desire is already realized, your emotions change. You no longer feel anxious or desperate, you feel peace, gratitude, and expectancy. Those feelings are not just pleasant sensations, they are the vibrations that summon your reality. The world always bends to the frequency of your inner state. To live by faith is to walk through life with a calm awareness that everything you imagine with conviction must come to pass. Even when appearances seem to contradict your inner vision, faith reminds you that appearances are temporary and fluid. The unseen is the true substance, the visible is merely its shadow. So you do not fight with circumstances, you rise above them by dwelling in the invisible state of fulfillment. The moment you believe without wavering, heaven and earth move to honor your faith. You do not need to force outcomes or beg for signs. You need only to rest in knowing that what is real within will soon be revealed without. Faith is not hoping for change, it is becoming the change. And through that inner transformation, the bridge between the unseen and the seen is crossed. Feeling is the creative key that unlocks the invisible world. Every reality you will ever experience begins first as a feeling within you. The secret is not to wait for something to happen in order to feel it, but to feel it before it happens. When you live in the end, when you inwardly rest in the emotional state of already having what you desire, you call the invisible powers of the universe into action. The outer world has no choice but to reflect the inner condition that dominates your awareness. To feel it really means to occupy the state of fulfillment now, not as a wish, but as a fact. It is the sacred art of assuming that what you desire is already yours and allowing that feeling to saturate your mind, your words, and your actions. You no longer think of the desire, you think from it. You no longer look at life through the eyes of wanting, but through the eyes of one who already possesses. This shift is subtle, yet it transforms everything. When you feel from the end, you align yourself with the creative frequency of your desire. Emotion is energy, and energy is magnetic. The vibration of fulfillment draws to you all that corresponds to it. The people, opportunities, and circumstances that match your inner state begin to appear, not by coincidence, but by divine law. The feeling of being fulfilled sets the creative process in motion and compels reality to obey. You are always manifesting according to what you feel most deeply. If you dwell in lack, your world mirrors lack. If you dwell in abundance, your world mirrors abundance. The universe is impartial. It responds to the vibration you send. That is why it is so important to consciously choose your inner state rather than react to appearances. The outer world changes only after the inner has been claimed. Feeling it real is not about pretending or forcing emotion. It is about quiet inner acceptance. When you feel the joy, relief, or gratitude of having received, you are not faking it. You are entering into alignment with the truth that already exists in the unseen. Your desire is not being created. It is being revealed through your acceptance. The feeling is the bridge that connects the invisible idea to its visible form. In this state, doubt dissolves naturally because your mind is occupied with fulfillment rather than uncertainty. You do not wonder if it will happen. You know it has already happened on a level beyond sight. And once you persist in that inner knowing, the outer world must yield to your conviction. So feel your wish as real now. See yourself in the scene of completion. Hear the words you would hear, feel the emotions you would feel, and live from that vibration. The moment you sustain that feeling, creation responds. What was once invisible begins to solidify around you, shaped and molded by the power of your inner state. For the world cannot resist a mind that feels its dream as real. It must conform to the assumption that rules within. Every delay you face is not a denial, it is divine coordination. What looks like nothing happening is often the moment when everything is falling perfectly into place. Behind every seeming pause, the invisible hand of life is aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities to deliver your breakthrough in the most effortless and harmonious way. The human mind may interpret stillness as stagnation, but to the divine order, it is preparation. When you desire something deeply, the universe begins to move in response to that inner assumption. But that movement often begins in silence, beneath the surface of your awareness. Things are being rearranged, timelines are being adjusted, and paths are being cleared without your conscious knowledge. The waiting period is not punishment, it's grace, it's life, ensuring that what you receive will come at the perfect time, through the perfect channel, in the perfect form. Nothing in your journey is random, even the detours have purpose. Every delay you experience carries within it hidden wisdom, shaping you into the version of yourself that can sustain what you've asked for. Sometimes the blessing you seek cannot arrive until you are emotionally and spiritually ready to receive it. So the pause is not a barrier. It's a bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. The divine plan never wastes a moment. The conversation that didn't go your way, the opportunity that slipped through your hands, the season that felt like endless waiting, all of it was refining you, deepening your trust, and expanding your faith. You were being trained to rely not on appearances, but on inner knowing. You were learning to stay calm in uncertainty and confident in divine timing. That is the true preparation for manifestation. Inner steadiness. When you understand the delays are coordination, peace replaces frustration, you stop fighting the flow of life and begin to trust it. You realize that the universe operates with precision, not haste. You are not waiting for something to happen, something is waiting for you to align. The moment your inner state matches your desire, the outer manifestation becomes inevitable. There is a perfect order unfolding in your favor right now. The people who will help you are being guided toward you. The circumstances that seemed like obstacles are being transformed into stepping stones. Every apparent setback is secretly a setup for a greater manifestation. You are never behind, never late, never forgotten. You are right on schedule with the divine plan for your life. So rest in the knowing that nothing is lost and nothing is wasted. Every step, even the ones that seemed meaningless, has meaning. Every delay has been a part of divine synchronization. When the right moment arrives, everything will unfold effortlessly, not by struggle, but by grace. For everything, even the waiting, is working in your favor. To stay ready in consciousness is to live in a quiet state of expectancy, not of hoping, but of knowing. True readiness is not about constant doing, chasing, or striving. It is about inner alignment. It is the state of being mentally and emotionally prepared for what you have already claimed within. Readiness means dwelling in the feeling of fulfillment now, long before your physical senses confirm it. When your inner state matches your desired reality, the outer world must respond in divine precision. Most people prepare for their blessings through action, but the wise prepare through awareness. The universe does not respond to effort, it responds to energy. When your inner vibration is one of calm assurance, when you feel that what you've asked for is already yours, you create an energetic invitation for it to appear. You don't force outcomes, you allow them to flow to you. This is the art of staying ready, not with anxiety or urgency, but with relaxed confidence that all is unfolding perfectly. The moment you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, you have entered a new dimension of consciousness. From that state, everything begins to align naturally. You will feel guided to take inspired actions, not forced ones. You'll meet the right people without effort, stumble upon the right opportunities without searching, and notice that life begins to cooperate with your inner conviction. The external world always bends to the inner readiness of the soul. Readiness in consciousness means you no longer ask when or how things will happen. You already know that the answer exists in the unseen and will unfold at the perfect moment. You carry yourself as if it were already done. You walk differently, speak differently, think differently. Gratitude becomes your natural language and peace becomes your posture. This quiet certainty radiates a powerful frequency that draws fulfillment closer each day. The mind that is ready does not panic when delays occur. It does not doubt when appearances seem opposite. It knows that what is real inwardly must soon express itself outwardly. You do not wait for the call, you expect it. You do not long for the opportunity, you prepare as if it were already yours. This inner expectancy is faith in motion. It tells the universe that you are open, aligned, and ready to receive. When you stay ready inwardly, you create no resistance. You have already made room in your consciousness for the blessing, and therefore it must come. Just as a vessel that is open naturally receives water, the heart that is open in faith naturally receives its desire. So stay ready, not in haste, but in harmony. Expect the call, the email, the encounter, the shift. Know that everything is already moving toward you. You don't need to push or prove. You only need to be the version of yourself who already has it. For readiness in consciousness is the true magnet for manifestation, and what you are ready for must appear. The moment of manifestation is never somewhere in the future, it is always now. Manifestation does not happen through time, it unfolds from the timeless dimension of consciousness. The instant you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, creation is complete. Everything that follows is merely the unfolding of that inner reality into visible form. What you call waiting is not life catching up. It is your awareness adjusting to what has already been established in the unseen. When you think your desire is in the future, you unconsciously keep it there. You separate yourself from it by time and by doubt. But when you bring it into the now, when you feel that it is already yours, you bridge that gap instantly. You dissolve the illusion of distance between you and what you seek. The truth is your desire already exists in another dimension of consciousness, and by entering that state mentally and emotionally, you call it into manifestation here and now. Living in the end is not pretending, it is perceiving. It is recognizing that everything you could ever ask for already exists in the eternal present, waiting for your awareness to claim it. When you say it is done and truly mean it, something shifts deep within you. You move from wanting to knowing, from seeking to possessing. That inner conviction dissolves resistance, and resistance is the only barrier between the unseen and the seen. Time is not the creator, it is the revealer. What is true inwardly eventually expresses itself outwardly. But the act of creation itself happens in the instant of acceptance. The moment you know it is done, when you feel the relief, gratitude, and peace of completion, you have entered the timeless realm where manifestation originates. From that state, you begin to notice synchronicities, alignments, and movements in the outer world that confirm your inner assumption. Your job is not to make things happen, but to remain conscious of their completion. To stay in the vibration of already done is to anchor yourself in the only moment that truly exists, now. The future is only a projection of your present state. If you want to experience a new future, you must change the state you occupy now. Every assumption you hold now is a seed, and every seed must reproduce after its kind. When you know that the moment of manifestation is always now, you no longer chase outcomes or beg for signs. You understand that everything you desire has already been created in consciousness and will appear naturally as you remain faithful to that inner knowing. The outer world cannot resist a state that has been fully accepted. So claim your desire now. Feel it real now. Rest in the assurance that it is already done. The past is powerless and the future is unnecessary when you realize that creation happens only in the eternal now. The moment you believe it is yours, it is, and life must unfold accordingly. Everything that you have been waiting for is already in motion. The unseen forces of life have been silently working in your favor, arranging, aligning, and preparing every detail for your breakthrough. There is no delay in divine order, only perfect timing. Every pause, every detour, and every quiet season has been a sacred part of your preparation. What you could not see before is now beginning to reveal itself in form because you dared to believe in the unseen. You have learned that faith is not waiting, but knowing. That feeling is the creative force that molds reality. That even in silence, God is moving on your behalf. You've come to understand that readiness is not action, but alignment, the calm inner assurance that what you desire is already yours. And now, as you stand in the awareness of fulfillment, you begin to see that manifestation was never about creating something new, but about awakening to what was always waiting for you in consciousness. So rest in this truth. Your breakthrough is not approaching, it is unfolding now. The invisible has already solidified into form, and life is about to surprise you in ways that confirm everything you've believed. Stay ready, stay faithful, stay anchored in the knowing that everything truly is working in your favor. Thank you for listening, and remember, the moment you feel it real, heaven moves. Your time is now.